The Lakers had one of the worst NBA seasons in their history. From an aging roster, outdated tactics, and the whole organization being a mess, the Lakers aren't in a great spot. Some Lakers fans believe the management should get rid of their aging players, and some LeBron fans, too, believe LeBron should consider a move. Let's take a look at some crazy trade ideas involving LeBron James. First up, LeBron James to the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid, James Harden, and LeBron James? Okay, hear us out. This could be absolutely wild. Don't forget, we're discussing crazy scenarios, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. After all, we've seen far crazier things happen, and we can't just rule it out when it does make a bit of sense. So, our trade idea involves LeBron James going to Philly. The Lakers, on the other hand, will be getting the likes of Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, a 2024 first-round pick, and a 2026 first-round pick. Now, making a case for the Sixers. Yes, the Philadelphia Sixers will be losing an emerging star, but don't forget that's the kind of move that is straight up Daryl Morey's alley, and you can't just ignore the positive side of getting LeBron in, can you? If the Sixers can't win the championship this year, it could tempt them even more into making a potential move for LeBron despite his age. LeBron is the GOAT, man, like it or not. James Harden doesn't have that kind of rivalry with him anymore, and he probably wouldn't mind having LeBron on the side, especially when it boosts his chances of getting the elusive ring. Of course, getting a player like LeBron in the side kind of takes your PR campaign to another level, and that could result in a potential MVP for Embiid. He's doing everything possible to win it for 2 seasons in a row now, and his chances will only increase with LeBron on his side. Not to mention Daryl Morey's knack for trading young stars for experienced campaigners, and LeBron's just the top of the lot, isn't he? Morey's a star chaser, and he'd love to have that trio on his side, which could result in a championship for Philly, further cementing Morey's legacy. He missed out on one in Houston this time, though, and he really could go all the way. Next, making a case for the Lakers. Losing a star like LeBron can't improve the side, of course, but then again, for a side so desperate for a rest, this would lead to one for sure. Maxey's an exceptional talent. He's not quite LeBron, but he's exceeded expectations already, and a move to Los Angeles could be the ideal one for his career. Not to mention the fact that a new coach would love to operate freely without LeBron's influence over the decision. Plus, Maxey's move could unlock Westbrook's potential, and we all know AD is just an injury-free season away from single-handedly winning the Lakers something big. Then again, hasn't he always been an injury-free season away from doing that? Tobias Harris is also no joke. He's got the ability to take his game to the next level, and the Lakers could provide the perfect springboard for him to do so. He was a fringe all-star player last year, so it's not like this isn't a realistic trade. Yes, it's crazy, we can't lie, but you're the one who wanted to see a crazy trade idea involving the GOAT, and we provided you with a realistically crazy one. LeBron, Embiid, and Harden. Make it happen, please. Number 2, LeBron to the Brooklyn Nets. If there's going to be a final dance for LeBron, and it's going to be in the Eastern Conference, then the Nets create another potentially crazy trade opportunity. The Lakers receive Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, as well as a 2022 first-round pick, and the Nets, on the other hand, of course, receive LeBron, and that's completely fair. Now, making a case for the Nets. If the Lakers' disastrous season is anything to go by, you shouldn't pair 3 veterans and hope for a decent result. If anything, KD, Kyrie, and LeBron are an even older trio than the Lakers had at their disposal last season. Still though, call us crazy, but this could really work out. First of all, Kyrie's a free agent, and he could leave, and that'd mean the Nets won't have to field all 3 in the squad. However, Kyrie could stay, and we're hoping he does, because imagine this trio together for a season. They'd be on fire. The only issue is regarding Kyrie and KD being injury prone, but without LeBron, the Nets still managed to make it to the playoffs. Next year, with LeBron, they just might have enough firepower to go all the way. LeBron's got the ability to navigate through tough times, and this should be a walk in the park for him. Not to mention, the Nets were poor defensively against the Celtics. LeBron's addition to the team means that Kyrie can enjoy himself in the free roll, and KD will have a lot of freedom too. Then you add LeBron powering down whenever he wants to. It might not be completely crazy if we're being honest. Next, making a case for the Lakers. Again, pretty much the same argument for the Lakers, except of course, they'll be getting a better player in Ben Simmons. The Lakers need a revamp. Everyone knows that, but Ben Simmons, if potential is fulfilled, could be the player they build their team around. This won't be a quick fix for them, but with a good coach, you can picture the Lakers improving in the upcoming season. They'll be hoping one of AD and Westbrook comes into their own and takes the side by the scruff of its neck. Ben Simmons has been unlucky, and this would mean his Nets career is over before it even began. That's not really promising, but maybe this could be the best move for him down the line. Simmons' addition leads to the Lakers improving their defense and will require a good shooter to provide the right balance. Cam Thomas is an interesting one too. He's one of the most promising players in the division for us. His statistics look very impressive, and it's a terrific move for the Lakers because that's another young player added to their side, and they can get the rebuilding process underway. Number 1. 1. LeBron to the Golden State Warriors. You saw it coming, didn't you? Of course, what could be crazier than LeBron at the Warriors alongside Curry? But also, it'd be pretty cool to see the two line up together for an entire season and not just the All-Stars. If LeBron's word is anything to go by, he's already explained how he'd love to play with Curry, and if he gets the move, we think it'd be the craziest trade in the history of our beautiful sport. The trade, as we see it, would mean LeBron moving to the Warriors while the Lakers receive Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga. Getting realistic, huh? Up next, making the case for the Warriors. Well, we'll be honest, it doesn't make a lot of sense for the Warriors. They do have a fantastic squad, and bringing in LeBron could be disastrous considering he's too big a name to not dominate the decision-making. Although on the court, hardly anything makes more sense for the Warriors than LeBron because they aren't just the best in the league, but also comfortably win the championship with him. Curry hasn't shown a lot of desire when he was asked about the prospect of lining up with LeBron, but if this prospect is turning into reality, his tone will change, because who doesn't want another ring? Stephen Kerr wouldn't be totally opposed to it. Again though, which coach in the world would be opposed to having LeBron? On the court, there's hardly anything more sensible to do. You can easily get a couple of years out of him, and with Curry in good form as well, you can manage the workload of all your players. Go all out in the finals and repeat for back-to-back championships. The stuff of dreams. And making a case for the Lakers. For the Lakers, we've got to mention that Andrew Wiggins would be a top-class addition to their side. He's got a remarkably smooth offensive game, and he can be impossible to defend given his huge size. He's not achieved as much as he'd like to, and maybe a move to the Lakers might provide him with the freshness needed in taking the next steps in his career. He'll complement the current Lakers squad pretty well, especially if there's a vacuum to fill in the absence of LeBron. On the other hand, you've got Jonathan Kuminga coming in. Decent explosiveness, extremely strong, but another player who has the raw potential and the age to prove himself. He's young, so he can take his time under the shadow of AD and Westbrook. Plus, he can genuinely improve the Lakers' side, considering they can invest in other positions instead. It'll be a better move for the Lakers as compared to the swap with the Nets, so we can see why Kuminga and Wiggins appeal to the Los Angeles outfit. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Which of these crazy trade ideas would you want to happen? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. See you in the next one.